everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fazila and you're tuning into Fazila Reads. Today's video is my October and November wrap up. How's everyone doing? Did you all have a good reading month? Mine was a bit busy and I also never got the chance to film my October wrap up, and so we are going to be doing a combined wrap up for the last 2 months. October for me didn't go exactly as planned. If you watched my TBR or MBR video, you probably know that I had a pretty ambitious TBR and my plan was to finish at least my top 3 priority books. Now, from that list, I did manage to finish 2 of them, one being The Trials of Ashmount by John Palladino, and the second one being The Beckoning of the Gate by Benjamin J. Ryan. I had to postpone moon dates because I wasn't in the right mood for it and my brain couldn't handle the details at the time. However, I do plan on picking it up soon. The Trials of Ashmount was really good. I had a great time reading it. It had mostly great characters, a vast world, fantastic magic system, some really dark and grim stuff happening. It is a promising debut and one that I would recommend everyone to check out if you enjoy grimdark stories. I have a full review on my channel, so I will leave the link in the iCard above or in the description below. Now, The Beckoning of the Gate is another wonderful read. It feels like a story that you would hear around a campfire. It has that magical feel to it and was very much atmospheric and had a lot of magical elements that I really enjoyed. Very interesting characters and a snarky animal companion. I also have a detailed review for the book as well on my channel, so definitely check out my review if you're interested. I've seen both of these books quite a bit on most of the socials, and if you have read either of these, do let me know what you guys thought of it. So, because I was in a bit of a reading slump and not really in the mood for anything new, I knew that I wanted to read something that I was familiar with and also something that I know will pull me in effortlessly because I'm already invested in the characters and I already know the world. So, I picked up Turncoat book 11 in the Tristan File series. This was a good move on my part because I was able to get into the story right away. And as I was familiar with the world, the setting, I was able to jump in without a lot of brain power involved in it. I love this book so much. I think these books are getting so much better and the stakes keep on increasing with Tristan also getting new powers. I loved it. I finished it in 2 days and I just couldn't put it down. I loved how we got so many of the favorite characters like Toot, Mouse, Ebenezer, and so many more in this. There was this urgency to the story because of how serious the consequences were and how convoluted everything has gotten, especially with the Black Council pulling strings. You really have to worry about whom you can trust and whom you could keep closer. Again, the previous book, I had some issues with Molly and Tristan. The same problem again happened in this book. I don't know what it is, but the scenes of Molly and Dresden rubs me the wrong way. I just can't stand those scenes, which is obviously frustrating because when I love everything about the series, this is one thing that sticks out to me. There was so much humor, great scenes of standoff with Mouse, Morgan, Lucio, and Molly. Those were some of the funniest scenes in the book. I felt really bad for Thomas because he gets into really difficult situations and hope he gets better. um, the other things, a couple of touch and goes for some of the favorite characters, and I've also at the edge of my seat for most of the part in this book. I'm kind of liking Merlin a lot better in this book, but let's see. Have you read Turncoat? What was your favorite moment from the book? Let me know in the comment section. So, for the third book, I requested an arc, which is KJ Parker's Pulling the Wings of Angels. So I've heard Zara talk quite a bit about KJ Parker. She's a huge fan of his books, and when I saw Pulling the Wings of Angel, I knew I had to try it out. This is a novella that deals with religious ideas and dichotomies. I really liked the writing, and while the premise was really interesting and sounded very intriguing, the book itself didn't do much for me. I mean, it wasn't bad, it was just okay for me. It is an interesting look at God, faith, religion, also sin, repentance, and so on. While the questions were interesting to dive into, the idea of God itself and the deity was very human like, which is something that I'm seeing quite a bit in most of the books. It doesn't seem to be a God who's all powerful and also has capability to do anything. And so that for me makes them less of a deity worthy of worship and more of someone who's flawed and very much human. And the ideas and the questions, themes, while it was philosophical and could have made for interesting discussions, I just couldn't connect with the idea itself. The writing was good. I like the humor in it. And so I will be checking out his other books just to see what everybody is talking about. So these were my October reads. Overall, it was a pretty good month, and I was satisfied with my reading despite my mini readings. Now on to November. I kickstarted this month with a very popular and a book darling of almost all the socials at this point, which is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. I was a bit worried about picking this up. I mean, it's very popular, it's very much hyped, and so I was a bit concerned if I wasn't going to like it. And I'm probably the last person to have read this. Anyways, I am glad I finally got around to it. It's everything that it was promised, and I loved it so much. It's cozy, wholesome, slice of life, low stakes fantasy, which is relatable in a lot of ways. I enjoy the simpler moments and also the more serious life changing moments that happen in the book. The atmosphere in this book was fantastic. It was a highlight for me. I loved the feeling I got while I was reading it. It felt like a warm hug at the end of a hard day. It was sweet, memorable, and had that light-hearted feel to it and that I wanted after the heavier stuff that I've read. It was just wonderful. Easily going to be a comfort read for me, that's for sure. Did you guys read this book and what did you think of it? Let me know in the comment section what your favorite moment in the book was. The next one is The Crew by Saad Rasami. This is another one of the books that was completely different from what I've been reading lately, and it is an epic fantasy comedy with a ragtag group of characters that were just hilarious and a ton of fun to follow around. Highly recommend checking out if you haven't already. This was exactly what I wanted at the time, and I'm so happy it delivered. I have a full non-spoiler review for this as well. We'll leave the links in the description and the iCard above. A friend of mine on Bookstagram has picked it up and I'm so excited. I need to find out if she likes it as much as I did. Fingers crossed she loves it as much as I do. The next book, or should I say the next series that I picked up and binge read, is the epic Norse-inspired Viking fantasy by Tilde Coldholt. This was an epic masterpiece and is definitely a top favorite for the magnificent experience it gave me. So this series was a chonker and I read this as a part of the Right Reads book tour. It was touch and go for a while and I barely got the final review on time, but so much worth it. These were the biggest books that I've read this month, and it's like 500 plus pages each. And it was filled with adventure, mystery, a fantastic world to get lost in. The world building was just amazing. I loved how broad the scope was and how massive the world felt, and also the otherworldly feel to the series was just amazing. The series really did a good job of showing the Viking culture and also the lifestyle in its full glory. I enjoy the Norse mythology that was incorporated in this book. I have a full review of the series on my website. Definitely go check it out if it's something that you will be interested in. I think it's one of the underrated Norse inspired Viking fantasy that's out there, which is a shame because more people need to pick up this series soon. I'm hoping to film my overall thoughts on this entire series. Fingers crossed I get it done before I get caught up in something else. So these are all the books that I read in the month of October and November. I had a pretty good reading month and I'm happy with the books that I got to read. Thank God I was able to get to the books that I planned. So, good on me for that, I guess. What were your favorite books for the month and did you have any unexpected surprise read this month? Let me know in the comment section. I would love to know what everyone's reading and what you have enjoyed so far. That's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.